Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is this really how I want to introduce myself? Hello, my name is Eric Richards, and I am an INTP. If you don't know what that is, it means we have a lot of problems. It means we think we're completely idiotic, and everyone around us is far more intellectual than we are. And if you are questioning my odd mannerisms throughout the whole entire video and you're not an INTP, well, just go with it, and it's okay. I thought, why not? I'm gonna make a video. And because I was looking at different videos that other people have made with them and their personality types, and I'm like, you know what? This is going to be exciting. So I'm going to make one myself and just kind of babble about, and maybe I can encourage other INTPs out there and maybe close the gaps of questions that other people have about INTPs. Because we are quite an odd bunch, are we? Well, anyways. Of course, as being an INTP, I have no idea where I'm going. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, like most other personality types where they know exactly what they're going to talk about and they're going to stick to their guns. I am going to ramble on and hope that something works out. If you're an INTP, you know exactly what I'm talking about because we just go along with things. As an INTP and other INTPs, we just do it, whatever. Is it going to immediately harm anybody? No? Okay, so it doesn't really matter that much now, does it? I don't care, Susan, if you have the chocolate cake or the ice cream sundae. Why do we have these questions in the first place? But whatever. You know, people have their wishes, so we have to play along. And of course, we are oddly, what's the word? We don't show ourselves personably to other people. So like right now I'm in front of a camera. However, my actual person wouldn't be as you are experiencing right now. It would be far more almost kind of scary. Because if you saw me, how I would behave by myself, you would think I either was on drugs, need to be on drugs, or in a really tight room. Not anything gets too weird, but it's just like conversations with myself, arguing against other people that aren't in the room, that are in my head, but I pretend they are on the other side of the room, and I am arguing my point against them, or trying to beg them or plead with them or whatever case. So whenever people come around, we have to, of course, at least personally for me, I have to actually read how do other people respond to such an interaction. Like, I don't know, women, for instance. A woman comes up to you and says hello. You have to, there's a plethora of other examples that we could use, but whatever interaction that we have, we actually have to go back in how we've analyzed other people's interactions and pick which one actually suits this particular time. So it's very hard for us to be very personable and being ourselves to anyone, especially for me. I'm always kind of focused on trying to appease the other person and feel like have them feel like we've made a connection, when in reality, I just did the right things to make you feel like we've bonded. But beyond like just a simple conversation, I'm not emotionally or personally there to actually sustain a relationship any further than hello, so that can always be a difficulty and a struggle. You will also find that I make word babies. What is a word baby, you ask? Think of two words that kind of mean something similar, like run and sprint. And you will find me say like srun, or no, it has to be natural. Like if I'm naturally doing it, then it just comes out so much better. But running, like renting or something like that. I do that all the time. I don't know if any other INTPs do that. It is a funny quirk, and you know what? I don't mind it. I enjoy having words just come out as completely new words out there. It's a little awkward when you're trying to be professional with other people because you, don't really know what you're trying to say anyway, so you're just kind of pulling things out of your head, and now you're creating word babies, and it's really awkward. But also, if this matters at all, I'm also a 5-wing 4. I don't know if that means anything, because I guess most INTPs are 5-wing 6s, whatever that means. But I'm a 5-wing 4, so I guess that kind of combination with an INTP is rather interesting. So I guess, come across on the search of the internet. What else is there to talk about? Well, for me personally, when I'm around other people, especially who are influenced by a different way of thinking and a way of thought that I see that actually interferes with their personal potential as a person, instead of being personable again, I actually act stupid because, really just to kind of make light of the interaction, because I'm also very a personable individual and I would want to talk about personable things and whatnot. And when I'm with other people that are rooted or grounded in another way of thinking, and I see how it also, like, how that actually harms them, I would find myself acting out more stupidly and just kind of like blah, 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 just to kind of make light. And I guess another thing about INTPs, we cycle because I didn't feel confident or satisfied in my first explanation, even though everyone else got the point. I felt like I needed to relapse so I can better explain what's actually in my head, even though everyone else has the idea, but I didn't feel. See, I'm already cycling. It's a odd thing, but like, for instance, let's see, a couple nights ago, I was with a group of people and I was talking to them about this place called the Alley Cat in Fort Collins. If any of you are around, let's meet up or something. But I was saying that this place stays open 24/7, and then I said all day, all night, or something like that, and they were all saying to me, "Well, that's what 24/7 means." I'm like, you know what a fist up your butt looks like? Just kidding. I also said that because I wanted to, again, like, I didn't feel satisfied saying 24/7. I wanted to say something a lot more that stuck, like all day and all night, and so, but the other people, they got the point, but I wasn't satisfied with my original explanation. That's another thing I also hate. I hate it when other people correct me when I am trying to, like, say a word or like read a word. Always hated it since I was a kid. Other people probably hate that too. It's really annoying, and it really is infuriating, which goes against another thing about INTPs. We do not like being stupid or assumed as stupid. I know this is a big thing for INTPs. Guess what? Y'all are stupid. Just kidding. You're actually a lot more smarter than you think, but you never trust yourself, and so we use a lot of closed body language, and we let the other person prove or disprove themselves, if that makes sense, rather than having to fight the point. We may suggest certain ways of thought, and they kind of disprove themselves through revealing about themselves in different circumstances or situations, or how they word things. And they may not even realize it. And we'd be like, see, you just pretty much admitted that what you're doing is really bad for you or is wrong. Like, that was a kind of a big struggle for me, is trying to figure out what's the difference between wanting to be right and like factually, and actually caring about the other individual as a person, and what they do with themselves or what they believe can actually greatly hinder them as a person. So I kind of had to make that choice as an INTP a little while ago, and just being like, you know what? I think it's more important to focus more on the person. Yes, they're going to say a lot of things that are way off, like informationally, factually, but that's okay, because they're not in a capacity at that moment to actually recognize some of those factual things, because what matters is how your heart is thriving. And that's probably not a very INTP thing to say, but that's something I guess I find that I need to personally work on. And so that's kind of something that I do. And so another thing, INTPs, I don't know if any other INTPs do this, but see, this is me second guessing myself. But anyway, what we do. This is actually a perfect example. I don't even remember where I was going.